are, but I think that the key is it doesn't have to.
It shouldn't be, but we are.
That is right, and like I think that, and I think.
Or maybe
that's
it's also that Americans have not had any choice here.
Or they feel like they haven't had agency in making
like
that choice.
The best thing about Trump, the only good thing about Trump is because he's doing all this stuff in real time, we're having to choose what kind of country we want to be in real time.
Yeah. And taking the wheels in a way that I think everyday citizens did not think they had to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe and Angelo will be back with us later on. We have a lot to talk about, guys. But coming up next, it might surprise you some of the places that saw big No Kings rallies yesterday, including the communities that typically vote for Republicans. Watch the weekend.
This is the true story of Alex. Recently promoted, he was earning more, but investing for the future,
I definitely needed a plan.
With his advisor Dennis, Alex invested his savings into 3 accounts.
One for now, one for later, and of course, his retirement.
A plan in motion put the future in focus. The wedding, the barndominium, kids.
Maybe kids.
The point here, Alex has more than big goals for his future. He's got a plan to get there.
Progressive makes it easy to see if you can save money with a commercial auto quote online, so you can get back to your monster to-do list.
Super helpful.
See if you can save money at progressivecommercial.com.
Thank you.
When your gut is out of balance, your body gives you signs. So if you're frustrated with occasional bloating or gas, help stop the frustration and start taking Align every day. Align Probiotic was specifically designed by gastroenterologists to help relieve your occasional bloating and gas, so you can enjoy life. When you feel the signs, it's time to try Align.
Age-related memory decline? Meet new Cunol Brain Health, the first and only tablet to combine 2 high-absorption ingredients, clinically shown to improve memory, focus, attention, and more. Trust Cunol for more comprehensive brain health support.
Hey, buddy.
Morning.
I'm a stickler for good dental care.
Me too.
Ooh, looking sharp today. But even if we take care of our teeth, we can still get...
No, please don't say it.
A big dental bill. That's why dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company is important. Now, this isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. It helps pay for over 400 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures.
That's a lot.
It's easy to find out more. Just call or go online now to get your free information kit with all the details. This dental insurance helps you pay for routine care and expensive major procedures, all with no deductibles and no annual maximums. You can even keep your dentist. Why pay more for dental care? Get your free info kit and start saving today. Call or visit physiciansmutualdental.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Allergy congestion?
That's why I Navage.
Tired of medicines?
That's why I Navage.
Navage flushes out allergens, mucus, and germs, even 99% of viruses, fast. Hate guesswork?
That's why I recommend Navage. Unlike other products, I trust Navage to work the right way every time. Pre-measured pods, just right pressure.
No wonder it's the #1 selling powered nasal irrigator. For over 10 years and for millions like you, there's only one Navage.
Yes, I actually won!
See this? It just arrived from Deal Dash, a Nintendo Switch 2.
Look what I just won. I love Deal Dash.
With millions of auctions, you too can start winning, like this.
I got this amazing Japanese knife set for just 75 cents.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
And today, new users get a $50 bonus credit. Go to DealDash.com right now for huge savings
and free shipping from our U.S. warehouses.
Why'd I go to the doctor? When my heart kept skipping a beat, I didn't think much of it. But my girls made me get checked out, and it made such a difference. Turns out, I have AFib, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you notice one or more of these symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did, and my girls are too.
This is no time to wait.
No Kings demonstrators turned out in droves on Saturday in thousands of cities, towns, townships across the country. Organizers say more than 3,300 locations participated, including 600 new locations in mostly rural and red communities. Among them, Juneau, Alaska, Minot, North Dakota, Overland Park, Kansas, and Waukesha, Wisconsin. Tennessee, historically red and conservative, had thousands of people turn out to events across the state, including in Chattanooga, where a safety marshal estimates at least 4,000 people gathered. Rallies were also held, listen to this, you guys, in Pulaski, where the Ku Klux Klan was founded, and in the city of Lebanon, where ICE planned to put a detention center to hold at least 15,000 detainees. Those plans were later scrapped. Joining us to get into all of this, Holly McCall, editor of the Tennessee Lookout. The Lookout is part of State's Newsroom, the nation's largest nonprofit state-focused news organization. Holly, thank you so much for getting up early and hanging out with us. When you look at those numbers in Tennessee, when you think about Pulaski, when 4,000 people in Chattanooga, what should those of us on the national level take from what's happening in Tennessee?
Tennessee has always been a conservative state. It has not always been run by Republicans, but even when Democrats were in charge, it was clearly not a liberal state. And to see the scale of these protests grow in under a year, I think is something that everyone should take note of. When you have 400 people in Lebanon, Tennessee, which I don't think has got a Democratic official elected in the entire county in which that sits, or Pulaski, Tennessee, or Jackson, Tennessee, a highly conservative part of West Tennessee. Chattanooga had twice as many people as they've had in the past. I think it says that there's an undercurrent of unhappiness in this country and in traditionally conservative parts of the country in the South.
And Holly, there was a lot of opining taking place yesterday on who exactly was attending these protests. I want to play this clip from Tomi Lahren, who speculated a bit about the makeup of the people who showed up yesterday.
I noticed it was largely made up of older white people with a lot of rage.
Are they also handing out like Metamucil and Depends with this lineup? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's something that young people are latching on to.
Does that square with what you were seeing, Holly? Were they handing out Metamucil yesterday? At least where the Chattanooga, Tennessee Lookout team was?
I did not get any of that in my goodie bag. Paying protesters to be there, and of course that's a joke. I did see a lot of older people, but I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think many of us as we get older, I'm 61, tend to get a little, what's the word I'm looking for? We tend to get a little acclimated to things. And I actually think it's pretty important that older people are out protesting. Some of these are folks who have protested in the 60s. I talked to one woman who was 70 years old, and she was so excited because it was her first protest. And she said, my daughter doesn't want me down here, but I think it's so important. So it's some of these baby boomers who I think have gotten very complacent. And yeah, there were a lot of older people, but I also saw a lot of younger people.
Holly, I wanted to ask you about Marsha Blackburn, the senator, Republican senator from Tennessee. So there was this mega center they were planning, and it looks like it's not happening now. Can you talk about that? Because that sounds like a lot of Tennessee pushback and successfully working out.
Yes, we broke that story on a Friday afternoon, and it didn't go anywhere. By Monday morning, it had exploded. I think every single Republican lawmaker who had a comment on it at the time said that we were wrong, we had the wrong city. And when it became clear, when ICE continued to confirm that, yes, they were planning to put this mega detention center 30 miles from Nashville in a small community, it was amazing to see how that community turned out to protest that. There was a county commission meeting with, I think, 400 people at that, packed into 3 overflow rooms. And Senator Blackburn eventually did get involved and pushed back on it and, took credit for that center not being placed here. What's interesting to me, though, is she is running for governor this year. She's the front runner in the Tennessee gubernatorial race. And she is very approving and enthusiastic about President Donald Trump's immigration policies. And yet when it gets cited in her backyard and she saw that there was pushback to it, she also pulled back on it. I'm going to note that in the town she represents, Franklin, Tennessee, it is arguably the reddest part of Tennessee, very conservative. There were 1,700 protesters yesterday, and there were a lot of anti-Marshall Blackburn signs.
I would just like to note, as we all know, that y'all might have issues, Republicans, that these older people are out there, but older people vote, as you well know. Holly, I want to read something from The Lookout. Anti-Trump No Kings rallies draw thousands across Tennessee. Quote, in Chattanooga, a multi-generational turnout included Molly Brooks, 15, who attended the No Kings rally with her stepfather, Kevin Brady. Quote, I wanted to make sure people know I'm passionate about who is president, she said from inside her polar bear suit. And I guess there's a multi-generational aspect of this that goes beyond 2026 and 2028. And so when you are someone who you and your team are on the ground talking to younger voters, and they have never known a world without the politics of Trumpism and the ways in which we operate nowadays, what do they tell you, and what does that tell you about what's coming next when they're in charge?
Boy, to sound very old, the youth give me hope, and I think they're going to save us. But there are a lot of, when I say young people, I'm not talking about young people in their 30s. I saw people in their teens who are soon to be voting age, like Molly. And that gives me hope because it might be all they know, but they have enough of a moral compass to know that what they're seeing is not right. When their friends are being taken out of school, when their friends are afraid to come to school, when they see people they know being taken away by ICE, they see their parents upset about grocery prices. I heard a lot about grocery and gas prices yesterday. I heard a lot about war. I hear young men who are afraid that there's going to be a draft. And so I think these young people are the next maybe Vietnam-esque generation that are going to protest, they're going to vote, and they're going to run for office.
Yeah, Holly, and we're out of time, but just to add on to that list that you were just going through is some good, amazing reporting from the Tennessee Lookout from August of 2022 was your coverage of a court ruling that Confederate memorabilia was allowed in a jury room and that it wasn't prejudicial. I think we should note that it says
detention
quite
center,
a bit
30 miles from
protests are being
to
held
some
in the
sort of
community where the Ku
midterm
Klux Klan was founded and where
victory.
a courtroom
It
is still
is
allowed to hold Confederate
imperative.
memorabilia. But thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your excellent reporting from the Tennessee Lookout, Holly McCall.
When we come back,
Joining
Donald
us,
Trump in
and
disarray
thank you.
and why he's reportedly saying he's growing, quote, bored of Iran, even as he prepares to send 1,000 more young American troops into his unauthorized war. You are watching The Weekend.
For your excellent reporting from the Tennessee.
New Sensodyne Clinical Repair is absolutely amazing. When your teeth are sensitive, they need special care. New Sensodyne Clinical Repair creates a protective shield over those exposed areas that can help repair sensitive areas of teeth after 60 seconds. I recommend Sensodyne Clinical Repair.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I did not check my outfit before meeting my girlfriend's family. Checking Allstate first was an excellent plan. Not checking which team my girlfriend rooted for? Yeah, not great. So check Allstate first, and you can save hundreds. Ex-girlfriend.
Sunscreen, swim diapers, SPF sun shirt, 2 fans, baby powder, and 1 floaty.
Sun hats.
Sun hat.
Cash back on first-time parent wins. Earn 3% at drugstores, and so much more. With Chase Freedom Unlimited.
It looks like an ordinary staircase, but as you age with occasional nerve discomfort that can feel like stabbing or pins and needles in your hands and feet, sometimes stairs can bring worry. As a retired doctor, now that I'm older myself, I take Nervive. Nervive Nerve Relief has ALA to start reducing occasional nerve discomfort in 7 days. Getting older happens, but living with occasional nerve discomfort doesn't have to. Try Nervive like I did and get your freedom back. Feel alive with Nervive.
What a hotel. Right? And only $250 a night for my favorite site. What? You didn't check Trivago?
I got mine for $155. You have to check Trivago.
Oh, yeah? Prove it.
On Trivago, you can compare hotel prices from multiple different sites, even your favorite one.
Look, same hotel, $100 less.
You didn't check Trivago?
I didn't check Trivago.
Check Trivago to compare prices and save up to 40%. Hotel? Trivago.
What causes a curve down there? Is it Peyronie's disease? Is there somebody I can talk to or help?
I got somebody for that.
I got somebody for that. I got somebody for that.
You guys got somebody for Peyronie's disease?
There's hope for the estimated 1 in 10 men who may have Peyronie's disease, or PD. A urology specialist who treats PD can help you create a plan, including non-surgical options. Find somebody today at GoGetSomebody.com.
When dry eyes need a boost,
Blink. Ready, set, blink.
up to 10 hours of relief to help you keep going. Relief with every blink.
Sometimes you just need a moment. Self-care has never been this easy. Try Zero Sugar Gummies from Nature Made. Same benefits, zero sugar.
How do you think about your last year serving and what you want to accomplish over this next year? Do you trust the FBI to handle the oversight of this investigation? That is what media does. They hold power to account.
MS Now Premium gives you early access and ad-free listening to all of MS Now's original podcasts, including Rachel Maddow Presents Burn Order, plus exclusive bonus content, and all your favorite shows ad-free. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
As the No Kings movement organized massive demonstrations across the country, the target of those protests, Donald Trump, appears to be disorganized. While a White House official tells MS Now Trump is growing bored with the war in Iran and wants to move on from the conflict. Reports say the president is considering sending at least 10,000 more combat troops to the Middle East. And as Americans struggle with long security lines at airports, so much so that travelers are actually paying people to wait online for them. Trump arrives in West Palm Beach on Saturday for yet another weekend of golfing. At his course, former Congressman Joe Walsh and Angelo Virasone are back with us. Angelo, what are you seeing on conservative media about this? You watch a ton of it. I apologize in advance. Talk us through it.
It depends on which part of it. I mean, the top line is that they're sort of fracturing in ways that we sort of expected. There are small cracks, but they're fully now blowing open.
But the war,
gaps, and they just. Broadly speaking, there's one bucket that says escalate no matter what. So reports come out about potential food crises, the issues with fertilizer, escalate. $10 to $20 gas, Newsmax is saying, just bear with it for another couple weeks, please, so suck it up sort of thing. Any development, any negative story, any warning about the consequences is a call for escalation. So that's Hannity, that's the usual affair. That's the Fox News, the traditional sort of right-wing media. And then there's that bucket outside of it that are actively and vigorously against it. They are against any escalation. And one of the things that is a significant takeaway, and it ties into what you're talking about with No Kings, is that when they talk about their criticisms of Trump with the war, they then immediately open up new fronts in criticism. So now it turns into corruption. Right? It turns into incompetence, right? So they don't just begin and end it. Now I'm mad at him about this. It's like, well, now I'm going to start taking other shots. And I think that's one of the things that's happening is that they're using it as a launch pad for a wider swath of criticism.
Sorry, go ahead, Jackie.
Well, I guess, do you feel like, though, this debate has transcended from the MAGA lectuals to actual Trump voters?
There's definitely, yes, absolutely. And
but
there
the
are
polling
some
shows that the MAGA line voters, 90%, I think, control room check me on that, but 90% of the NBC News poll that came out like a week ago said that they were fine with the war.
That's right. Anyone that's going to self-identify as MAGA is going to, that's basically saying I'm self-identified as a Trump loyalist and a Trump cultist. That number is going to be at 30%, and the people within that bucket, they're not going to move. They're going to stay as high as 90 because it's a pass-fail test, right. And their pass is whether or not they're continuing to support Trump no matter what. But even Megyn Kelly noted that when Trump is citing those stats, he's ignoring the fact that that's only a very small subset of the larger population. nation. There's still a larger universe that MAGA, in the sense that they voted for Trump last time, there was a part of the MAGA coalition on the media landscape. That's different. If you poll those sort of influencers or podcasters that were part of the MAGA storyline in 2024, they are not in that bucket. And that's where these terms are going to start to have shifting definitions over the next few months as this continues to evolve.
Who are the anti-war voices or the dissent?
I think the big bellwether, I mean, obviously Tucker, right? You know, that Megyn Kelly to a degree, but I think Joe Rogan. Yeah. But then there's this other bucket, and I think there's two that are notable. One is Sean Ryan, who is a sort of a former military guy who does a lot of like conspiracy type podcast news stuff. He's fully switched now. He's completely opposed now, no matter what. And then the second layer that's really anti, it's all the people you wouldn't think about. So video game streamers that were voting for Trump. These Manosphere guys. This guy Sneeko, probably the most influential person that no one here has ever heard of, or the audience. Okay, he's got a massive crowd, mostly speaks.
Everyone's writing down
and he's a far right figure, broadly speaking, fully vigorously against this. So that second layer is basically been evaporated.
And it filters down to Trump voters on the margins. Mm-hmm. Again, I engage with hundreds of them every day. On the margins, the Epstein thing peeled some of them off. On the margins, the tariff and the fact that everything costs so much peels some of them off. And this war has peeled off some of Trump voters on the margins.
Yeah. Go ahead, Eugene.
I want to play this sound from Trump on from Wednesday on the economic impacts on the war, because I think it is helpful for the conversation that Republicans are having currently.
I thought it would be much worse. I thought that the energy prices, oil price would go up higher. I thought the stock market would go somewhat lower. But it didn't matter to me. It's short term.
I assume that there are Democratic strategists cutting at least that last part. It didn't matter to me.
Not a normal trajectory, but I would love you to talk about this
for weeks. What the American people have been dealing with is long-term pain, some of them decades-long economic pain in this country. And Donald Trump said, I alone can go into Washington, D.C. again and fix all of this for you on day one. And the only thing he's done when it comes to the economy is the tariff. So when you look at this, he doesn't have to worry about how it's going to affect his polling numbers. He doesn't care. But the Republicans that are running do.
Are scared to death, and that's why they're all resigning and retiring. Yeah. Look, a lot of people voted for Trump in 24 who are not MAGA. Mm-hmm. They voted for Trump because the Democrats suck, or because of the border, or because I want things to cost less. Those people are fleeing him, and that's why there's going to be a blue tsunami if we have midterms, if we have free and fair midterms. The other thing is, we don't talk about this enough. He's whacked.
Right. We need to assume that we have free and fair midterms. That has to be the baseline. But certainly we all have to be careful. There's a lot of lawyers who are going to be careful with that. But the assumption has to be because, Trump will do as much as he's allowed to.
I think we have to assume there will be. We have to prepare like there won't be. Right. Yeah. Like we never envisioned, oh my God, a president's going to lose an election, then try to overturn the election. Right. That happened, and then January 6th happened. He's doing it right now again. We have to prepare for the worst.
As they say, if you will shenan, you will shenan again.
Heard that one before. Linda Walsh and Angela Carstone, thank you so much.
I love that.
For spending part of your morning.
I love that.
Coming up, stunning scenes from Minnesota yesterday, the state that has become ground zero in the fight against the Trump administration this year. And if you have any questions or comments on yesterday's No Kings protest, or any photos of your protest signs, only funny ones, please, drop us a line on Blue Sky or Instagram. Our producers will surprise us with them later on in the show. Our handle everywhere is at The Weekend MS Now.
When I was diagnosed with HIV, I didn't know who I would be.
But here I am, being me.
Keep being you and ask your healthcare provider about the #1 prescribed HIV treatment, Biktarvy.
Biktarvy is a complete one-pill, once-a-day treatment used for HIV in many people, whether you're 18 or 80. With one small pill, Biktarvy fights HIV to help you get to undetectable and stay there, whether you're just starting or replacing your current treatment. Research shows that taking HIV treatment as prescribed and getting to and staying undetectable prevents transmitting HIV through sex. Serious side effects can occur, including kidney problems and kidney failure. Rare, life-threatening side effects include a buildup of lactic acid and liver problems. Don't take Biktarvy if you take Dofetilide or rifampin. Tell your healthcare provider about all the medicines and supplements you take if you are pregnant or breastfeeding or have kidney or liver problems. If you have hepatitis B, don't stop taking Biktarvy without talking to your healthcare provider. Common side effects were diarrhea, nausea, and headache.
No matter where life takes you, Biktarvy can go with you. Talk to your healthcare provider today.
Have you ever felt so sluggish that it was like you were stuck in your chair? Like you didn't feel energetic enough for even routine activity? I've been there. And as a doctor, I knew this could be a sign that my digestive system wasn't working at its best. So I followed the same advice I give my patients and started taking Metamucil fiber every day.
Metamucil is the only leading brand with plant-based psyllium fiber that gels to help trap and remove waste so you can feel lighter in as little as 14 days.
After trying it for 2 weeks, I decided to keep taking Metamucil every day to help meet my health goals.
Metamucil psyllium fiber also helps curb cravings between meals, helps lower cholesterol to support heart health, and helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels. That's why Metamucil is the #1 fiber brand recommended by doctors, pharmacists,
And gastroenterologists like me.
Metamucil. Digestive health starts here. Scan to shop or visit these fine retailers today.
I used to think all money managers were the same, but Fisher Investments is different.
How different are they really?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, and they reach out proactively.
They probably invest in a bunch of mutual funds like other money managers.
No, they build a tailored portfolio based on your personal goals, needs, and more.
Well, they probably have a complex fee structure.
No, Fisher has a transparent fee that's a percentage of your portfolio.
So we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Trying to figure out what lowers your A1C can feel endless. It's not you, it's type 2.
Type 2 diabetes is complicated, and it's different for everyone. Using a CGM like Dexcom G7 15-day can help patients see what works.
I just didn't understand how my body reacted to different foods.
When I heard that A1C jumped from like 6.2 to 9.8, oh my goodness, I really gotta get my life together.
Dexcom G7 sends your glucose numbers right to your smartphone. See where your glucose is, where it's headed, and where it's been.
With Dexcom G7, I think I can enjoy anything I want because I get the real-time feedback.
I reached my A1C goal. I feel good about my future.
Most Medicare patients pay $0 a month. Call now to get started with Dexcom G7 15-day and receive a free cookbook. Don't wait. Get started today.
Let's go.
Very weird.
Rated PG, only in theaters Wednesday.
Millions of Americans took to the streets yesterday to participate in No Kings protests in cities and towns across the nation. They held a special significance for people in Minnesota, who have for months now grappled with an aggressive crackdown from ICE agents and the killing of protesting American citizens Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Minnesota's State Patrol estimated around 100,000 protesters were in attendance at the flagship protest in St. Paul yesterday, with many saying they felt obligated to show up in support of their neighbors, their values, and democracy.
I wanted to come out here to because I don't like Trump and he's taking away people's rights.
These are really big demonstrations and they're historical, and so I think it's really important to show our kids that we participate in history. This is a milestone, and you were here.
I think it's because of the resistance that we showed over the past winter and how we stood up nonviolently to a violent regime.
I think the thing that's so interesting is that Minnesota did not ask to be at the center of all of this, right? Minnesota became the heart of all of this because of what happened to real people there, to their neighbors, to their friends, their colleagues, to strangers they didn't know but decided they need to help. And then you see, I think the number was, according to organizers, 200,000 people in St. Paul at the flagship rally. that is not a coincidence. That is a consequence of an administration who they see as pushing people to the edge. And this is what happens when people push back. And it's like it is a community that is saying, oh, you can't erase us. And you wanted to put us at the center of it, we'll show you what it's like when we're there.
And there's an interesting dynamic here that is happening in Minnesota that we're not having in a bunch of other states, which is that the Minnesota state officials are suing the federal government because of the investigations into the killing of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. And so I think this is pretty interesting. We have an element here from the AP. We really have, the governor and the lieutenant governor and the AG suing the federal government because the federal government is not allowing the state to be involved in this prosecution, and they want to investigate the wife of Renee Good. And I think that is an added element here, and you hear the protesters talking about it.
Yeah, and I think we should also note that while yesterday was going on, and actually since the start of the Iran war, our team pulled up the amount of times Trump has actually not even been in the White House, tracking his golf trips. He's taken 9 trips to his Florida golf properties since the start of the war, and overall, throughout his presidency, he has taken over 100 golf trips since the start of his second term. Wonder what kind of coverage he was getting of yesterday, because as our White House correspondent Jake Traylor was down in Mar-a-Lago covering those protests in his now state district that has flipped to be represented by a Democrat.
In which Trump voted by mail.
Right. I think there's so much hypocrisy all around. But there was so much Republican anger, or at least fake anger, about Joe Biden going to Delaware on the weekend.
Yes.
And as if Donald Trump, especially during his 4 years of his presidency, didn't go either to Mar-a-Lago or the Trump Tower or whatever. And also, the people who worked for him, the Secret Service, paid him to stay at his resorts. That also happened.
Yes.
So it matters. Coming up in our next hour, Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland joins the conversation on his participation in the No Kings protests and a lot more. We got a lot of questions. That's all straight ahead. You're watching The Weekend only on MS Now.
Want to get more done with one sheet? Grab Bounty. Bounty is made to be stronger and more absorbent. So while ordinary brands can't hold up, one sheet of Bounty keeps working even when wet. Can your paper towel do all that? Bounty, the quicker picker-upper, America's #1 trusted paper towel.
This is the true story of Alex. Recently promoted, he was earning more, but investing for the future, I definitely needed a plan. With his advisor, Dennis, Alex invested his savings into 3 accounts. One for now, one for later, and of course, his retirement. A plan in motion put the future in focus. The wedding, the barndominium, kids. Maybe kids. The point here, Alex has more than big goals for his future. He's got a plan to get there.
It doesn't sit well with us. Your hard-earned money sitting in traditional bank accounts, collecting more dust than interest. So we reimagined savings with Vanguard Cash Plus to offer up to 8 times more interest.
I like that.
Vanguard.
Coming to the stage this Friday, it's Ned's first team karaoke night. But he's wondering,
what if my flaky red plaque psoriasis takes center stage? Next up, we have Ned. Hey, 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 hey.
Is she flaky blacky?
what if Ned knew he could treat differently?
Otezla is a pill that treats plaque psoriasis even in hard-to-treat areas. You can get clearer skin and reduce itching and flaking. Doctors have been prescribing Otezla for over 10 years. Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts.
With Otezla, clear skin could be your jam. Live in the moment. Struggling on topicals? Ask your doctor about Otezla.
They tell you to optimize, to hack. But what if you were never broken?
Armor Colostrum, the first food of life, reawakens your innate brilliance. 400 nutrients, 4 seconds, 1 daily revival.
It's fun for me to win on the course, but it's even more fun to win on Deal Dash.
Lori won $2,000 Tiffany earrings for just $1, and Joseph won an iPad for just $6. There's millions of fast auctions, so try today at DealDash.com for $50 of free credit and your first win guaranteed.
By lunchtime, I definitely have body odor.
I have tried everything and nothing works.
I'm just a stinky girl.
That odor isn't you. It's bad chemistry. Lumi is clinically proven to control the hundreds of odor reactions happening everywhere on your body right now, not just the 3 to 5 happening in your armpits. Rather than covering up odor with heavy fragrance, Lumi actually stops odor before it starts. That's my secret to better odor control everywhere. Lumi's unlike anything you've ever tried before.
Did you Lumi today?
Lumi, outrageously effective odor control.
This isn't your average pill. This is Rose Sparks. Rose Sparks. Rose Sparks. Rose Sparks.
Rose Sparks is a fast-acting solution because it dissolves under your tongue.
Rose Sparks.
Guys, get started today.
Connect with a provider to find out if Rose Sparks are right for you.
Welcome back to The Weekend. I'm Eugene Daniels, along with Jackie Alamany and Molly. Jackie's working. Molly John Fast, who is in for Jonathan Capon this morning. She's a busy
Slacking her
gal.
booker about a guest.
Grab that extra special shot because we have a busy hour ahead, including a look at what's next for the pro-democracy movement 1 day after millions turned out for No Kings protests across the country. Congressman Jamie Raskin was part of the historic demonstrations. He'll join us live to discuss what it could mean for the midterms and how he's investigating Trump's corruption. And we'll also get into the growing economic toll of the war with Iran. As gasoline, as you guys probably know, nears $4 a gallon, and Wall Street suffers its 5th straight losing week. What it all means for your bottom line. But we will begin this hour a day after millions of Americans from big cities, small towns, townships across the country and around the world came together to have their voices heard, specifically with a message directed at one person, and that person's desire to obtain more control over this country.
I love democracy. I don't love what's happening with this country right now. All our constitutional rights are being trampled on. Laws are totally being disregarded. The courts are being disregarded.
This is what our founding fathers fought against. A tyrant king who acts without consent, without our representation, and without consequence.
We're tired of what he's doing with the government and how he's taking over, and he basically wants to be a king, and we don't accept kings in the United States.